All right. It's been a couple days, about a week since I made a video, but I wanted to get back on and talk some more about what I'm just seeing and the absolute hypocrisy, the lunacy that's going on in our country again. And some of you people still out there battling over left and right when you don't realize the left and right doesn't matter. It's all bad. It's all not going in a direction that's good for Americans first, for sure. So let's talk about like the absolute lunacy that's going on with some people I see like on The View and some of the comments from people on the Democratic side of the aisle flipping out over Trump building on something onto the White House, this ballroom, or in expanding the East Wing and then the ballroom and all this. And it's just absolute insanity that these people are out there all outraged with their fake outrage and everything. Like, oh, he's destroying the people's... First off, most every president has built or reconstructed or remodeled or done something to the White House. Like Barack Obama, for instance, just in this case, I think it was $400 million of taxpayer money that we forked out of our checks he used to do his thing there on a basketball court, which was definitely needed at the White House because, all politicians are out there hooping. But regardless of what he wanted, it was during a recession, and he spent taxpayers' money, and not a word said about it. Not from Republican, not from Democrat, nobody. They're like, he's the president. He has the right to do that, and nobody said anything about it. Why is it such a big deal? Somebody make it make sense to me, because Trump's doing it. And then people act like Trump derangement syndrome's not real. It's like, it is such a crazy thing that no matter what this guy does, okay, whether you like him or not, no matter what he does, you're the absolute opposite of it. Do you understand how insane you sound? Do you understand that it makes you seem unbalanced and unstable, that you can't take your personal opinion for somebody and put it to the side and just let him do what he's doing? He's not hurting anyone by building on that White House. He's actually just making it more grand and a bigger space for whatever they do there, these the big state dinners, and when they have other countries come in to visit and they have all these things that go on there. What has that got to do with anything serious in our country? And it's just, to me, that's like one of the biggest things I'm seeing right now, the lunacy that's going on over that. Here's the real stuff you should be really focused on, okay? The fact that the FBI comes out, right? We got the Epstein files and you got the Charlie Kirk situation, right? And the FBI comes out with, we took down the NBA gambling and scam ring and fix and all this. Who gives a shit? What is that? You know what? Who cares? Who cares? How about FBI? You focus on coming through with the truth with the Epstein file, and you come through with the truth with the Charlie Kirk thing, because we all know you guys are full of crap. Bottom line, full of crap. I don't care what anybody says. You can leave comments, whatever you want on my page, on my channel. It's ridiculous if you can't see through the BS. What do you mean there's no Epstein file? There's nothing worth seeing. No, if it wasn't nothing worth seeing, everyone, okay? If there's nothing there, okay, they would have released it and let us see that there was nothing. There's obvious reason that they're not letting us see it, and they keep bullshitting everybody and keep blowing smoke up everybody's rear end. And people sitting there going, yeah, this, that, the other, if it was real, they would have... You sound insane. It's BS. They're lying. Same thing with Charlie Kirk. Anybody who believes that Tyler Robinson is who did this, you need to really sit back and take a look at yourself in the mirror and think about it and really look at just look at the BS they're floating you on what they want you to believe. They are lying. It's all garbage. So, that's what I'm trying to get across to everybody is everybody wake up. It doesn't matter if you're Democrat. It doesn't matter if you're Republican. They're lying to all of us. okay? And the longer we all sit back and tolerate it and don't stand up and don't start voicing ourselves and coming together and unifying, they are going to win and we are going to lose. It's how it's going to happen. You can sit there and go, oh, well, you know, the Republicans are this and that. Yes, they're bad. They do bad things too. And then people on that side can go, oh, the Democrats are this. And just in my opinion right now, the Democrat side of the aisle has lost their minds. Has absolutely lost their minds. I'm not saying that Republicans are any better as far as the corruption part goes, but the absolute ludicrous lunacy of the Democratic Party and what they're promoting is unbelievable. Unbelievable the way they're acting and the things that they're telling people. You know, a lot of people that I'm friends with from back home and lifelong friends, you know, they all voted Democrat their whole life. And, you know, it was funny, you know, when Trump first ran against Hillary, I had some of my closest friends to me, all black Americans, great people. I love them all to death. They came down on me like so hard, acting like they didn't know who I was when I voted for Donald Trump over top of Hillary Clinton. And they were like, why, you know, why would you vote for him? And I was like, well, because Hillary Clinton is a crook. Because she, you know, I brought up the Benghazi situation. I brought up all the money that she couldn't account for. I brought up, you know, what with all the emails and how the people that were going to testify her, you know, were mysteriously coming up unalived and stuff like that. I said, I just can't vote for her. I said, I just feel like Donald Trump is a better choice at that time. And they're like, well, he's racist and all this. And I'm like, I was confused. I'm like, hold on. This is coming from black Americans, guys at the time, back in like, what was that, 2016? And I'm like, what do you mean he's racist? I'm like, come on, we've watched him our whole lives. He's been involved with all the major rappers. They all rap about him in his songs. All the big Jesse Jackson and, Don King with the boxing and Trump Plaza and what was it, with Jesse Jackson, he even funded his presidential run. It was like all this stuff that said not racist. And the biggest thing to me was they're calling him racist. And two of the biggest civil rights people, you know, in our time in history that I can remember that did a lot of work for black Americans was Muhammad Ali and Rosa Parks. And they presented Donald Trump with the Ellis Allen Award for his achievements with helping minority groups in the United States. So, I mean, to me, I just found it odd that all these people couldn't see through the fact that they're calling him racist because they don't, you know, they're fearing you. You don't see through that, but it gave me an idea. It started to make me realize about how the media and how much the persuasion of propaganda and how brainwashed people have been made over the years that they were just willing to vote for Hillary Clinton because of what the media told them about Donald Trump. They weren't willing to just go, hold on, well, I seen him do this and I seen him here, and Oprah Winfrey said he would make a great president, along with Hillary Clinton at one point, who stated, we need somebody to be president like you that couldn't be bought and corrupted. But yet, let's not vote for him. Let's vote for somebody who we had proof of being corrupt. Then, you know, it's pretty disheartening to see nowadays, too, with any black American who chooses to vote the opposite direction of the Democratic Party is belittled and called these horrible things because they think differently than other black Americans. You talk about hypocrisy of how, you know, oh, well, we're the Democratic Party. Oh, well, we're the people who cares about other people, unless they don't agree with you. And that, you know, is part of the problem right there. It's like they preach this sermon of care and understanding and all this and want to, you know, this, we got to care for each other and love each other, and then turn around and as soon as somebody disagrees with you, you call them a sellout, you call them all types of racial slurs, calling, you know, Uncle Tom's, all that stuff. It's just ridiculous to even think that way. But, you know, I even had my best, I once is my best friend, and I'm not going to mention no names, but driving in the car with him one day, and we're heading over to his house, and he's like, "Man, I have a conversation with you," and I'm like, "Yeah, what's up, man?" And he sits there and tells me he doesn't know me anymore. He doesn't know, I can't believe I've let you around my kid and my daughter and all this. And this is a man that's known me since the third grade. We've been through everything together. But yet he was so indoctrinated and swayed by the media and by politics and what CNN and everything was pumping in his head that when he felt obligated to tell me that he didn't know me anymore and that he couldn't believe that he had allowed me into his, domain and around his kids and all this because I voted for Donald Trump. He doesn't know this, but it broke my heart, man. Like to think, wow, you know my character as a person. You've known me since the third grade. Everything we had been through together. We had been through some great and horrible times together. He's still my best friend to this day. But I've never spoke to him. I've never told him how that made me feel inside because he chose to have a different view of me because of a vote that I made based on me having some real intellect into why I made my decision. I made some real conscious choices about why I chose Donald Trump over top of Hillary Clinton, regardless of what the news media and everything was telling me. I didn't let the media sway my decision. I based it on things I seen with my own eyes and knew. And it bothered me to see that he wasn't using his brain like that and that he was being swayed by the media and what other people were telling him. And the funny part is I was right when this happened, I was getting ready to move to Florida, and him and a couple of my other best friends, they're all Black Americans. We all grew up in the same neighborhood together. They are all married to white women. Now, the reason I bring that up is as I'm getting ready, I'm hanging out over the house with them all one day, and I'm getting ready, it's like a day or so before I'm getting ready to pack up and leave, and I'm trying to spend some time with the people that I care about. And the wives pulled me to the side and said, "Hey, Brian, they're talking to me for a second." I'm talking to them, and here's the funny part. At that point in time, I was, I don't know the exact age I was. I was in my mid-40s, somewhere in there, late 40s, and I was renting a room at a house my aunt had back in Maryland, and I was barely making it paycheck to paycheck. I was just really kind of struggling to get by every week. And they brought up something to me. They're like, hey, you don't believe that there's white privilege? And I was like, I just kind of was stunned at the question because I'm sitting there and I'm looking at these white women, okay, that are married to black men, and then they're questioning me on white privilege. And I was like, no. I was like, how do I have white privilege? How is it that all of you all have nice homes, husbands have great careers, doing well financially, raising families and all this, and I'm just scraping by, okay, asking, and I was actually there because they were all giving me money to help me get to Florida. And they're telling me about white privilege. And I just couldn't, I was like, what are we talking about here? Are you guys serious right now? Like if there was white privilege, why am I in a way worse off situation to where I got to pack up my car and move to another state because I'm not doing so well? And I'm here to see you guys, but I'm here because you guys are donating some money towards helping me travel so that I can. And I'm like, man, what white privilege is it that I have that's given me an advantage over top of my Black American friends that all have way better jobs, nice homes they had bought, way better careers, financially stable, a whole bunch of boats and, all kinds of fun toys that they had. And yet my white privilege had me packing everything I owned into a Ford Escape and, traveling to Florida to start over. But, those are the things that I want people to understand, like, there isn't white privilege. There's called choice making. And those men who I love to death, who I'm talking about, they all made better choices than I did in life. They made way better choices. I chose, a lot of bad choices of irresponsibility and partying and not being, not choosing a career and being irresponsible. And I made those choices and it got me where I was. They didn't make those same choices and had way better lives going on. And that's the funny part to me, but I was still questioned about white privilege. And it's taken me years to come out and speak about this openly. But I felt it was time to, to just speak about it and let it come from somebody who, I'm not a politician. I'm not some famous person that's talking about it. You think they're just being paid to say this. No, it actually exists. People are that brainwashed and that ignorant to really what's going on. And it's not their fault. It's when you sit there and watch something all day long and that's what it tells you is going on, that's what you end up believing. But, that's what this rant kind of went into today. I wanted to talk about what happened to me with the people that, man, some of them people to this day, they'll hit a like on my Facebook page, they'll send a like or a happy birthday message, but yet most of them don't even reach out to me to try to talk to me anymore because I share these just raw, unfiltered honesties about what's going on, and it doesn't coincide with their political views. They think that they're stuck in the way that they're stuck. They're not willing to open their mind, see things openly, take the politics out of it, do some critical thinking, do some research, stop believing everything the media tells you, stop believing there's really white privilege when there's not. And, the next time maybe hopefully this never happens to you, but hopefully you don't have another person in your life that you decide to say things like to that again anytime just because they voted differently than you and you didn't even decide to ask why. But that's the problem in our society right now. All these people dividing us by color, dividing us by sexual preferences, dividing us by political decisions, choices. You got to stop. You got to stop. It's gonna create a world, and these people have kids as well. You got to start thinking about the world the country you're prepping for your children to live in and for their children. And you're still doing the same thing over and over again. Tell me what's changed over the last 50 years since we've been alive. Tell me what president, Democrat or Republican, has done something that's bettered our lives here in America. Tell me at one time what president didn't send shit tons of money all over the fucking world and didn't provide for the people here. Tell me why our country is all beat up and everything. You got countries like Saudi Arabia and all them, Dubai, the cities, everything looks amazing. Everything looks amazing, and we're $37 trillion in debt. But yet you got people here that are homeless. You got people here that can't afford health care. You got people here that are, struggling just to get some food and everything. And yet you got all these jobs that are out there that are being pushed out to other countries because they'd rather pay another country cheap labor than pay Americans what they're worth. Force them to do the right thing. Wake up, people. Wake up. Thank you for listening to my rant today. That's just my thoughts for today and how I felt, and I wanted to put it out there. And I hope everyone has a great day. And I hope the people that I spoke about hear what I had to say finally, and that they understand where I'm coming from and how it made me feel.